Neo X Hub by Simagic. So this wheel is using their modular up plus design where you can kind of mix and match and add things. This is the hub in here. This is the rim that I've added, the P330R. And in the back we can see the paddles which I've chosen. One has an extender to come out a bit wider, one doesn't. Completely customizable angle as you can see from the bolts here. And then I've opted for one clutch instead of two because I can. So it's a very, very cool concept. Of course, we have the classic Neo, the crushed carbon going on. There's a lot going on. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing it, letting you know my observations. Simagic has sent this to me free of charge for the purpose of this review. But then again, all thoughts and opinions are my own, and I'm just letting you know what I see, what I click, and what I hear. So in this video, I'm going to kind of talk to you about it. I'm going to talk to you about the makeup process of how you put it together and how you can choose different sort of combinations of stuff. And I'm going to take it for a little test drive and see how it feels and how it operates, and also go over the SimHope compatibility. So first things first, I'd like to mention with this wheel, so it's coming in the actual hub itself at $199 US. That's the retail price. Now it depends on where you're from and taxes and stuff like that and what distributors price them at. But the retail price that Simagic is saying before this release is $199. The other parts you're going to need is the paddle modules if you so choose so. And these paddle modules are $40 for the single paddle module, so you just get one here and one there. Or if you want to pay $55, you get the dual clutch, which I think is exceptional, because if you think back to other different kinds of steering wheels in the past, having 4 paddles on it usually jacked up the price ridiculously. And if you look closely, I actually screwed these in, which you'll see in the assembly process, which is rather fun to do. So let's jump on over, put it together, and let's see how that goes. Right, so let's take a deeper look at all this. Here is the Neo X, the hub itself. Without the wheel, without the paddle shifters, all that, this is where the magic happens. So similar to the GT Neo, this is the Neo X hub, and this is where really you can get customized and down and dirty, do whatever you like. It comes with instructions, very clear, very simple. Again, it's a really simple process to put this together, but it's advised to follow these just so you do it to the spec. There's also instructions in Chinese too, if you're so inclined. And there's also the classic Simagic stickers. So I love these stickers. They're amazing. It's really a way that you can make the wheel your own, put things the way you like them, and it really gives the wheel that last racing look and also that last customized look along with stickers. Now, here is the hub itself, but let's do all the little bits first. So we have the small plate which covers the threaded holes. I like this because I got the P330R wheel, which is a round leather kind of driving style wheel, which I'll get to soon enough. But that's a nice little addition for it to make it look like a road wheel. You know, you get the USB-A to USB-C cable, and then we have the Neo X hub itself. So this hub looking really cool. It's covered with buttons, it has funky switches, it has rotary encoders, thumb encoders. You know, as it is the cheaper model, there is some plastic on this wheel, such as the little rotary encoders on the front, the funky switches, but as seen with the Neo before it, the GT Neo, these have proven to be no issue and an absolutely acceptable trade-off for the value that this wheel provides. It's covered in crushed carbon, a kind of composite plastic material, but it's reinforced by a piece of steel down below. The switches feel purposeful and solid. And at the back, we can also see where the paddles will go. It comes with a quick release as well, where some manufacturers actually sell a quick release for the price of this hub. So just to put that into context, you know, it's the quick release alone is a savage piece of value here. But next up, we're going to need is the paddles. So we're going to put the paddles on. So we've opted for the double paddle extension kit, which basically gives us the shifter and the clutch, which is savage. There's all different kinds of paddles in here you can choose from. There's kind of road ones, there's kind of carbon ones, there's kind of metal formula ones, really, so you can get it whatever way you want. As well with the clutches, you've kind of simple clutches, you've carbon clutches, and you also have extender little plates which can make them come out even more, which I'll show you in an example later. We also have screws that we're going to need, and we have the shifter assembly themselves, which are really awesome, and they're the classic. The super soft click that is from the Simagic shifters. I absolutely adore them. Some people like a purposeful metallic click, but for me, I'm not all about that. I like to record, I like to race when people are sleeping and stuff like that, so I do like having that kind of softer click, and it does feel a lot smoother in the hand. Still purposeful, still breaks the magnet. You know when you've shifted exactly on the breaking point, but there's just no metal So putting these together, it's fairly simple. Open up your instructions and just do what they say, you know. So add on the shifters. Do remember things get kind of inversed a little bit, so make sure you're adding them on the right way, as the instructions do say. And don't over tighten any of this stuff, but you will see it does get a firm lock in. Even though the screws are very small, they are very strong. Again, obligatory test with only one shifter on. That's your boy Jacko in action. If you enjoyed this review, by the way, guys, don't forget to drop a like and a comment, because it's a free and easy way to support the channel. And let me know, is this something you guys are interested in? Do you think they hit the mark on this? I'm really curious to know what your guys' opinions are. So we've completed one side, fairly simple. On the other side, we're going to do something a bit different. I'm going to add the extender plate because I want my upshift to be a little bit further out. That way I can test to see which I like more. And to be honest, both actually work very well together, but the extended one is quite cool. So we put it on as it says in the instructions. And what you can do here is very interesting. There's 3 different threads, so you can really get different kind of degrees of adjustment. Big time, you know. And once you even have the paddle on, you can then kind of move it around and see which way you want it to get it exactly the way you would like it to be. So really cool stuff from Simagic there. It's just a simple touch. Most wheels do have something like that, but again, it's nice to have that air of customizability, as they say, you know. So I'm going to opt for one clutch, kind of because I can, which is the cool part of this and the premise of the Up Plus. It's, you know, to have it the way you want it, which is really nice. So one last look at our Simagic Neo X hub before we start to give it some flesh and meat, you know. So we're going to take off the little covers on the back and expose where the paddle modules go into. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the little pin connector and we're going to plug it in, make sure we're plugging it in on the right side. One thing that's very important to do here, it should be obvious, there's a big gap, as you can see, in the wheel where the hub goes. We're going to make sure we get the cable in there before we actually press it down. And when you do press it down, you want to make sure there's no resistance. So you want to check, make sure the pin is all lined up and you're adding it in on the right side. It should be fairly obvious which way goes where. Kind of tuck the cable in a little bit. That way when you push it down, you should feel with no resistance, metal on metal or kind of solid to solid, and there's no cable getting caught. Now these screws are quite fun to put in as the threads are quite small, but you can just kind of move the paddle module around until you find a thread. Again, forcing absolutely nothing. You do not want to strip any threads on this. Everything should go in smooth as butter. So if it's not going in, there's no reason to use elbow grease here. Just easily find a thread and then you're good to go. So we have one of the paddle modules on. Again, for the next one, I just want to show you a little tip. If you find it difficult to get the screw in, one thing you can do is, again, should be obvious, but if no one's ever showed you before, get your nail and kind of grab the end of the screw, and it's going nowhere, and it kind of gives you a little bit of leverage to kind of just plop it in there and then get the job done. So now that we have our paddle modules on, this thing's ready to rock. It's just missing one thing. Do you know what it is? It's a wheel. So this is the P330R. A stunning wheel. It's kind of like a real road wheel, kind of like leather, but super stiff. It has no stitching where the thumb and the fingers go, which is stunning. It's really smooth to hold, super strong, absolutely no flex. It's a solid wheel rim. You know, you can buy your own wheel rims, but the ones that Simagic provide are similar to the rest of the hardware they provide. They're very high quality. So we're going to take out our screws here and we're going to mount it onto the Neo X hub. Now inside that orange packet there is a little steel piece that does cover this wheel, but to be honest I absolutely love the round one. It's just going to complete the look that I'm going for. Again, kind of because of the Up Plus philosophy behind this, the design. It's kind of like because I can, you know, this is the way I want to do it, this is the way I'm going to have it, and I think this looks absolutely stunning. A proper road kind of car wheel, except it does look quite racy with great, but it's all down to personal preference. Whatever way you want it, you can make it with this wheel. Having a quick look at the distance here, both work all together, you know, really strong material on the wheel that I chose. A solid look, so let's give it a crack. Right, so our Up Plus creation is done. Now it's time to check it out. We're going to give it a spin, but not before checking out this SimHope compatibility, which is super cool. You can really get all these RGBs to work any way you want. The lights, anything here, it can go through SimHope, which is absolutely deadly. How we're doing that is with the Maglink and this kit here, which we've installed. It's super easy to install. You can add on any quick release you want. So this can go on a Fanatec, Logitech, any base with a compatible kind of that 70mm design for the quick release. You can put your own quick release onto this plate back here and basically use it wherever you want, on a Moza, whatever it is you want. And this is a way to connect it to your PC, that way it works. If you look on the back, the Maglink is a very simple connection, basically there. You take it, put it back on, should it ever break off, it's very safe. We're going to whack it onto our Alpha Ultimate base, and we're going to check it out in SimHope first. So here now we're in SimHope, we're connected via USB to the PC, our Simagic Neo X is popping up, and we can actually check out the settings that I've put onto it in any way in here. So I've added some simple things like a spotter car left, a spotter car right. When ABS shows, it starts to flash yellow, and a little pit speed limiter which makes things turn purple. So very, very simple setup, that's how I like it. You can customize anything in here. You can spend a long time doing it or a short while. It seems complicated, but once you get used to it, it really, really isn't. So don't be afraid to get in and give it a go. But now let's jump on iRacing and see what it feels like. So the Neo X hub, you know, there's a lot to say about it. Not enough time. It's really a stunning hub where you can really kind of customize it and get it the way you want, with the paddles, the modules, single, double, different kind of rims. You know, the mounting plate is nice. There are some other manufacturers out there who kind of, you know, their hubs are kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie about it, but that's a personal preference taste. Like Fanatec's, I'm not too into the whole stick and prong and customize it. It reminds me too much of Meccano, and I've never liked Meccano. I was more of a Lego guy myself. But this here with the crushed carbon, you know, the Neo was a big hit with absolutely everyone, and I have a good feeling this one is going to be too. So it really adds that air of customizability. The whole up plus philosophy is really oozing out of this product. It encapsulates it well. That if you want to get into sim racing, if you want to get into customized and having different rims, it does not have to cost an arm and a leg, especially with Simagic, with all the different rims that they offer, all the different paddles, the different options. You know, there's a way that you can have a plethora of wheels, all with the one hub. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. It's a simple little breakdown review of this product. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm not gonna lie, you guys know I love my Simagic stuff, but I have to say this is going in the pile of things that I absolutely adore from them, and I will be using this a lot more. So you're going to be seeing this exact wheel on this channel a lot more. Might even learn how to do a bit of drifting, because I have to say this wheel, the way it throws itself back in your hands, is absolutely stunning. But yeah, guys, have a great weekend, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.